Hello everyone, it's Tom from BlackToad Studio, and it's been a little while since my last hobby update. I'm afraid the Christmas period got in the way, and a few other family matters that had to be attended to over that particular time cropped up. So I didn't have an awful lot of time for getting stuff done pretty much from early December all the way through till about a week and a half ago maybe. If any of you follow us on Instagram, you'll notice that I've been putting up a lot of Red Scorpion painting, which is what I actually started to work on very heavily during those week. I got back into it last week or so, mainly because I was going to take my orcs to the Last Chance Open up at Wargames. However, I think I bit off a bit too much more than I can chew, so I decided to take a Red Scorpion force up, which was majority painted, and add a couple of presents that I had over Christmas to it. So without further ado, here's what I've actually managed in the last couple of weeks. So we've got some Primaris now. Absolutely love painting these for the Red Scorpions. Shoulder pads all fitted on nicely. Really look the part on them as well. They guess the 4-year-old ones. They're really easy, but also quite cool to get sort of detail onto. I think it's the size of the model just makes it a little bit easier to paint. As you can see here, I've got all the pouches on now as well and things like that. I've gone a bit more detail than I probably usually do, but this is because it's the force that I want to put a little bit more effort into when it comes to how it looks. And I'm really happy how the Primaris turned out. I'm still following my scheme of having like I think it's the right knee guard, the full colour of the yellow, and I've also kept by not having the whites around the red Scorpion on the shoulder pad, because I quite like the black. Quite a lot of highlighting on, edge highlighting on done. Also a nice orange sword in there, and all the base is done. Just need to do some tidy up. I'm going to do the whole tidy up of the force shortly. Now the other thing that I was really excited about was this guy in the middle here, which is Culln the Risen, and this was very kindly purchased for me by my other half as a Christmas present, and I pretty much got on it very quickly. I had done a bit of magnetising on it because there's no options on it really, because it comes as it is. So I've just done the arms and also the torso, just to make it a bit easier to transport if I need to. This is a bit more of a challenge to paint. I tried to put a few more hours into this. I think actually I'll probably put the same amount of time as I did to the whole Primaris squad into this as I did into this. So quite a few hours. So I just got to start there. Set that back on. There we go. As you can see, got some pretty cool stuff in comparison to the standard Leviathan. So you can see there's more detail on the clear pads and stuff. You've got the scorpions, etc. I'm really happy how he turned out. I think there might be a few more things I can add to him. I think, actually, oddly enough, I think around the back I could probably do a bit more work, but I'm happy with him where he is at the moment. I like to step away from model for a bit and then wait for things to sort of crop up as I'm looking at him playing with it, so I can sort of make decisions on how I want to make it look better. So I'm pretty sure, I think the Culln part on the foot here could be standing out a bit more and things like that, but I'm going to like to leave it a few weeks and come back to him and just do a bit more detail work on him. But overall, really happy how he turned out. On top of that, I knocked out another contemptor here with the Carab Assault cannon on it. I need to get some markings for the shoulders, which I will do, but to be honest, I know it's a Red Scorpion just by looking at it, which is what I want as usual. To be honest, these are so easy to paint because they don't have an awful lot on them, and I'm not really a big fan of the pose and stuff like that. I much prefer the 4-year-old version, but hey, I have one, so because I had a couple of sets from the Burning Prospero and the and the Battle Betrayal of Calth box set, so I'm not going to let them go to waste, obviously. So yeah, that's it. And then finally, over here, we had 3 aggressors. And I must admit, I absolutely love these models. There's something about them that look really cool. The posing on them is really nice, and they look like they're, they look like they're in action, sort of moving forwards. And and I've gone with the Flamestorm gauntlets on these ones. However, I think I'm going to get another set to do the bolter versions as well. I could have magnetised, but quite frankly, I really didn't have the time or the want to do it, and I'd rather just buy another set to round out a 3 of each, which works for me. So, and again, all the base is done at the same standard, so there's some slate and some grass on there. And overall, really happy how these are looking. I might do something on this guy's shoulder here. It's the sergeant, so I might put some writing on there. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. But yeah, again, the nice thing about these is the Terminator shoulder pads from Full Drill fit perfectly, so it blends in with the model nicely without changing the aesthetic too much. So I know they've got these big shoulder guards on the sides here, but I think actually they work quite nicely. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get my entire Red Scorpion force together. I'm just going to have a quick look at all of it together. Okay, so here we are. So this is going to be something I think I might keep doing, is when I add something to a force, I'll get as much out of it as I can to sort of show you the increased capacity. Obviously that might not be the same for the Templars, because that's a bit much to get on the table every time we get something out. However, down here, as you can see, we've got quite a sizable Red Scorpion force starting to crop up now. Getting really happy with it. So obviously we've got the new additions in here. So here's Culln and his 2 bodyguards, I'm going to call them, the 2 contemptors there. We've got the aggressors added in there. Got some of the Primaris, which I showed you a minute ago. Got a little HQ and elite slots here. Obviously this is I'm still a little bit confused as how I'm going to use all this, because I've tried this in several games recently, actually, because I've had a couple of mini games off camera with Dom, just to sort of pass some of the time. And what I found was things like, you know, running the honor guard and the ancient thing in, you know, with Severin is quite complex rules wise, because it's just so many things to remember for each model, and also just you know, I don't know, it just doesn't feel the same as it used to when you had when you had the honor guard squad as one unit, or the veteran squad or whatever. But you know, I'll get used to it, I'm sure. Obviously the changes to apothecaries made a few alterations to my force, because as you can see here, the 2 tack squads I did have were led by apothecary models, because actually, you know, the rule with them was that you could upgrade the sergeant to have a Narcisium as an option to give them feel no pain. So what I'm probably going to end up doing is getting a couple of extra Marines, getting them into a kind of a standard sergeant setup, and I'm going to move these out to elite slots, so that we can have 3 apothecaries running in a kind of maybe a vanguard attachment. I think I've tried something similar, didn't work out too well, but to be honest, one game isn't really a good judge. Also here we've got the scouts and some of the Terminators here, and obviously up there in the skies is the assault ram, and then the Land Raider Helios. So I mean, this is pretty. I mean, I've got everything I've got for these guys done, bar this Imperial Knight here, which I'm going to be doing in Scorpion colours, because I think it would look really cool to add to the force, just like I do with my Templar one. I'm trying to do one, any forces who needs an ally like an Imperial Knight, I'm going to try and do something like this for them. So I might make that my next paint job, because I'm kind of in the mood to do these guys at the moment. I had a lot on the table I needed to get done, as you saw in the previous videos, and that's all over here, just so you can see. So we've got the Orcs down here, we've got the Templar bits here, got Inquisition bits up here, we've got Night Lords here, and then over here, these are bits I hadn't added on the video. These are just little bits in flux that I'm just working on modelling wise. We've also got down here the teleporter for the Orcs there. Oh, and some more Orcs down there. Sorry, it's a bit of a mess, but there's so many of them, I literally ran out of space. So that's my little update. This is going to be a weekday of Wargamers one, and hopefully we'll get back to a bit of regularity. It's been a pretty long old Christmas period. So apologies for any delays in my videos. We should get back to some normality, and so hopefully some battle reports soon, especially with these guys in front of you here. I really want to get these on the table and play a few games on camera. So this is Tom from BlackToad Studio. Take care, everyone.